Hello, in this video we will discuss about the alcoholic fatty liver progression. The alcoholic fatty liver due to the chronic alcohol intake. So I will try to understand you the mechanism and how the fatty liver will progress. So this is the person which that contain a spicy alcohol which that is known as ethanol. Ethanol formula is a CH3CH2OH, and when intake it will go into the digestive system, and digestive system contain bacteria, streptococcus and other type of bacteria which that will consume the ethanol to produce acetaldehyde and endotoxin. So it will endotoxin will move into the blood circulatory system, remember, but we will not understand with the detail. But this endotoxin will also cause the damage of the tissue, so it is rare. This is the bacterial growth. While in the liver, the two type of enzyme, the aldehyde dehydrogenase enzyme and the P4052E1, the CYP2E1, which that involve. So let's begin to understand the sinusoid as well as the hepatocyte in the liver. The sinusoid is contain a hepatocyte, a lot of hepatocyte in the both side. So this is the cross section, and this is the black color is the hepatic stellate cell are present in the space of this. So this is the blood circulatory system which that is contain endothelial cell, and this is the Kupffer cell are present inside of the blood circulatory system with the endothelial cell, while the hepatic stellate cell are present in between the hepatocyte and endothelial cell in outside. So when we will consume the alcohol, alcohol will move into the hepatocyte, and this alcohol will be detoxified. So the excessive alcohol is harmful, while the little amount of alcohol, non-chronic, not be harmful. So in this way, here is the ethanol. Basically, here is the hepatocyte, which that is the aldehyde dehydrogenase is the cytosolic enzyme in the hepatocyte will convert through a NAD plus to convert NADH, lead to acetaldehyde, and again NADH will produce to acetate formation, and this NADH will use in the mitochondria in the electron transport chain to produce a lot more ATP. How it is work? So remember, the acetate will go into the mitochondria to produce acetyl-CoA, and this a lot of acetyl-CoA will go into the Krebs cycle to produce NADH and FADH2, which that will increase the NADH will affect differently. When increase the NADH, it means the glucose metabolism is not important because NADH is already present. So ATP is also present. In this, the glucose will not use, while the ethanol will use for production of ATP. And a lot ATP will produce will lead to reactive oxygen species increase, will damage the DNA, and addiction, cause the addiction in the genetic. It will transfer generation after generation, and the lipid peroxidation will occur due to the reactive oxygen species, remember. Lipid peroxidation will lead to also damage the other type of bilayer of phospholipid of the plasma membrane of the cell. So on the other hand, the lipo in this way, the NADH when rise will lead to obesity due to the lipolysis inhibition, metabolism of carbs and sugar, and gluconeogenesis will inhibit. In this way, the sugar will produce from the sugar will produce ATP will less, and the not metabolism will occur of the sugar because the acetaldehyde and the ethanol will work rather than the using of the sugar. So this mitochondria used for the beta oxidation also will inhibit due to the excessive amount of NADH. So the beta oxidation will not occur. In this way, this all things will lead to pathogenesis of fatty liver, steatosis. In this way, remember, the fat is not using no use. So in this way, the deposit into the hepatocyte will lead to a liver, fatty liver. so lead to fat deposition. And in this way, the reactive oxygen species lead to inflammation, will stimulate the hepatic stellate cell, and in this way, the RBC will decrease the oxygen due to the demand will be more for the production of ATP in the mitochondria. So the aerobic respiration will increase, while the carbon dioxide will increase also. And alcohol will also inhibit the lipid lipolysis, and in this way the hepatocyte, the deposition of the fat will be increased. Due to that, these lipids require the mitochondria for beta oxidation and also the peroxisome. And on the other hand, the omega oxidation will occur in the endoplasmic reticulum. All this function will be inhibited. This all physiology will inhibit, will lead to deposition of more fat droplets. And in this way, the more fat droplets will lead to more fat rather than 10% fat in the liver, will lead to enlargement of the liver as well as the fatty liver, because the deposition of fat and inhibition of the regulation of the PPAR alpha, adiponectin, and AMPK, which that all things will lead to trigger by the inhibition, the decreasing of this will lead to increase the deposition of the lipids in the hepatocyte. And after this, the lipid peroxidation will also trigger the Kupffer cell to produce, and the toll-like receptor will bind also with the alcohol to produce, and also the endotoxin which that's come from the bacteria will bind, will lead to inflammation and produce inflammatory cytokines, interleukin 6, interleukin beta, and tumor necrotic factor alpha. And these all things will lead to use for the inhibition of reactive oxygen species, and that is why it will recruit the monocyte, neutrophil, cytotoxic T cell, and cytolysis of the hepatic cell, because the hepatic cell is infected, inflammation which that will lead to apoptosis. So the immune response apoptosis will occur. And in this way, the reactive oxygen species, the alcohol-induced reactive oxygen species will damage the DNA. In this case, the mutation, epigenetic changes, oncogenesis, and addiction will occur. And that is why the DNA will damage, which that will transfer the generation after generation, or it can be cause death due to the oncogenesis, the uncontrolled cell division in the hepatocyte. So the liver cancer. So in summary, the normal liver will convert due to the chronic alcohol consumption to fatty liver, but it is reversible. But also the reversible, the fibrosis, the fibrotic liver, which that is also irreversible, but sometimes more fibrosis, severe, which that is irreversible. But the irreversible cirrhosis will occur. This cirrhosis means the collagen deposition and the death of the hepatocyte due to the immune response. And in this, the apoptosis will lead to cirrhosis, and the liver will damage, will require the transplantation of the liver to again recovery. So this was the quick overview about the alcoholic fatty liver progression, and that is why the alcohol, our consumption of alcohol and chronically, which that will lead to damage your liver. That is a simple science about the alcoholic fatty liver progression. So I hope you make sense about these things and about the physiological changes due to the production of reactive oxygen species will damage the hepatocyte, as well as activation of the immune system, innate and adaptive immune system, will lead to damage the hepatocyte. After the damage of the hepatocyte, the cirrhosis will be occur and fibrosis. And in this way, the steatosis mean the fatty liver. So thanks for watching. Please make sure to subscribe, like, and share. Bye.